Did Aang put too much pressure on Tenzin? So this comment was so long that it actually doesn't even load it all in. And I'm not even going to argue most of the points you made. One thing I do want to address is in the comment, you said that he put too much pressure on Tenzin and didn't spend enough time with the other children. And I just think this is an incredibly unfair accusation based on what was actually happening. Yes, in life, often parents put way too much pressure on their children to succeed. Yes, this is a real form of abuse that does happen to children. However, to say that he put too much pressure on Tenzin trivializes what was actually going on. Aang knew that he was going to die, and when he died, Tenzin would be the last airbender, the one person on Earth tasked with carrying on the Air Nation. Which I think something that is overlooked about that a lot is that it's not just a culture, it's integral to the cycle of the Avatar. Every generation of Avatar is born into one type of bender, and when that Avatar dies, it cycles to the next element, meaning that as the cycle repeats, the next two Avatars will be Earth and then Fire. After that, there needs to be an airbender for the cycle to continue. So if Tenzin does not properly restore the Air Nation, not only does an entire race of benders just go away forever, but the cycle of the Avatar would break as well. The only way that Aang put that pressure on Tenzin was by nutting inside of Katara. Because the unfortunate fact is that Tenzin being born an airbender is what put the pressure on him, was the circumstances of his birth. And yes, this meant that he was going to be spending more time with Tenzin than he would with the other two kids. And yes, that did cause a little bit of trauma to the other two kids. That does not make him a bad father. In fact, in this scene, if you go back and watch it, Tenzin snaps at Kaya and says, "Dad loved us all equally." And neither Bumi nor Kaya argue that. They don't even disagree with that point. I just feel like when people talk about Aang as a father, they really trivialize what was actually going on. Make it sound like Aang and Tenzin were going off to football games, while Kaya and Bumi sat back at a crack den eating SpaghettiOs off the floor. The two of them were tasked with literally continuing the cycle of the Avatar and keeping the world safe. But the point is that Aang and Tenzin were not off fucking off. And Aang wasn't pressuring Tenzin because he wanted Tenzin to be good at something. The two of them were literally trying to ensure that future generations of the world were safe, and that the Air Nation continued to exist, because it was cosmically necessary for the cycle of the Avatar. Plus, as I pointed out in my other video, Bumi and Kaya understood that, and respected it. Yes, they acknowledge it was frustrating. I can imagine it was. Not having your dad around must have been frustrating, especially when you love him and know that he loves you. Everyone involved understood that it was not Aang being a bad dad, it was Aang protecting the world. Everything they do is to keep us safe, Bumi's exact words.